Hi guys, this is Mrs. Sanchez. Um, the next concept that you should be learning about is integer operations. So we're going to focus on multiplying and dividing for 2 days. In your journal, on your interactive journal, you should have a cheat sheet. Make sure that you zoom so you can see it a little bit better. Since we're doing multiplying and dividing, it's on the bottom part. These are the rules, the things to go by. So when you're multiplying integers, same sign, it's going to be a positive answer. So -5 times -5 is going to be a positive 25. Different signs, it's going to be negative. And that's the same rule for dividing. Same signs, -5 divided by a -5 is a positive 1. Different signs, +5 divided by -5 is a -1. Okay, so when you're multiplying or dividing with the same sign, 6 times 8, so it's a positive times a positive, you're going to get a positive answer. So 6 times 8 is 48. So make sure that you update your box. Make mine a little bit smaller. And then when you have a negative times a negative, sometimes you're going to see parentheses around one number. That means multiplication. Sometimes you'll see a dot, and that dot also means multiplication. So you're going to see all kinds of stuff, or either times, parentheses, or a dot. So a negative times a negative is also going to be a positive answer. So -11 times -9 is positive 99. So this is where you're going to type any summarization or any notes that you want to write to yourself. So I know when two numbers have the same sign, the product will be positive. And this is when multiplying. So I'm going to multiplying two numbers that have the same sign will be positive. Okay. Now for dividing, there we go. Same thing, positive divided by a positive, you're still going to have a positive answer. The signs are the same. So a 24 divided by 3, you would get 8. It's a positive 8. Now this is another way that you're going to see division. -20 divided by -4. Sometimes you're going to see the division sign, but a lot of the times it's going to look like a fraction. So negative divided by a negative is going to be positive. 20 divided by 4 is positive 5. Dividing two numbers that have the same sign, the quotient will be positive. Okay, so now we're going to go on to different signs. So when you're multiplying or dividing with different signs, your answer is going to be different. So it's not a negative times a negative. Now we have a negative times a positive. So now this triangle is just a visual representation to help you. So anytime you're multiplying or dividing, that's when you can use this. So if you use your fingers and you cover up, or I can't do it with just my mouse, but I'm multiplying a negative times a positive. So those two represent my two numbers I'm multiplying. Whatever is left, it's a negative number. That's the sign of my answer. So a negative times a positive is a negative answer. So -4 times +9 is going to be -36. So -36. Same thing on the next one. A positive times a negative, or you could go this way. Positive times a negative is a negative answer. So -56. So summarize it. When two numbers with different signs, the product will be negative. And my font is extremely big, so I'm going to change it and make it a little bit smaller. I have to make sure that I fix that. Okay, now dividing. So you can still use the triangle on dividing. You have a negative 49 divided by a positive answer. Your answer is going to be a negative 7. $64 divided by a negative 4. That would be 4 can go into... Okay, so here you have 64 divided by negative 64. Positive divided by a negative, you should have a negative 16. So same thing, the exact same thing. When you have two numbers with different signs, dividing two numbers with different signs, the quotient will be negative. And if you want to make that a little bit smaller,